Well, hello, my beautiful Gemini. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for August 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, of course, you may notice the guide chimes have been reinstated, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Gemini, this is your monthly reading for August. I can't believe we're here already, but here we are. I don't know if you noticed with the guide chimes, there tended to be like one note that played all the time. So I really got this sense that you are consistent on something, really committed to it. And it feels like there is this sense of urgency to get something done before you can go off and do other things. It really felt like if I just get this thing out of the way, then I can just go off and be magical and do all these other things. So I feel a lot of you are committed to something this month. I mean, consistency is the key to success. So it could be that you're having a breakthrough on something that perhaps you have been focused on for quite some time. But let's get to the cards and see what's coming out for you there. We, of course, have moved into fabulous Leo season. So this really is time to shine your light and take the center stage in your life. This month is all about leadership and empowerment. August actually encourages you to be more flamboyant, to enjoy yourself, be bold and daring and motivated to accomplish so much by ticking all of your priorities off your to-do list, and then leave enough time for you to bask in all your glory with some quality time to pamper yourself, as well as carve out some time for your soul tribe. Now, this month is all about energy. It's about confidence, creativity, vitality, and of course, self-expression. And this is about being unapologetically you, which puts you on course to attract more positive outcomes in your future. Governed by the sun, this month really aligns your focus with your personal identity, your courage to pursue your dreams and passions with heart-led purpose. Also, August aligns you to lead with love and positivity, to seek out fun and adventure, despite some of the challenges that we've been experiencing recently. Now, August will really see you pushing back. In fact, I feel like you've been pushing back for some time, being, courageous with some sort of struggle or challenge. I feel things have been difficult. It's almost like there's always something to do for you right now, and I do feel that you will have some sort of breakthrough on that is a positive outcome. I mean, you may even have some sort of shocking abundance there. We'll get to these cards right at the end, because the Tower can be many things, and we've got the Empress energy there, so that could be shock pregnancy for some of you, or you may hear news on that. But ultimately, this month is about you peacocking your wonderful self, coming out of a comfort zone. That's literally what this can mean, that, you're having a glow up, and that you're not going to stay at home. You're going to get out there and attract wonderful wonderful people and situations into your life, especially since we've got the Hermit there. A lot of you may have been in Hermit mode, so you may be a little bit more sociable this month. But basically, this is about being seen. And, you know, this is also a time to have a getaway, if funds allow, whether it's a staycation or a vacation. It will really give you space to assess your personal direction, your life philosophy and belief system, and really be ready to reinforce any structures in your life on return to remain on target and make great strides forward. So a lot of you, that Tower could be a wake-up call. After a getaway, a break, it can be that now you need to build back better, create a structure, to be stricter with yourself when it comes to your productivity or your creativity in some way, get back on your projects there. But this is all about remaining on target. And Mars, of course, moves into Libra on the 6th of August, increasing your zest for life by doing more things that you love. A diary that is jam-packed with curious events and, you know, maybe even spontaneous invitations to encourage you out to play. It's a perfect time to fall back in love with your life, but also be open to accepting a soulmate into your life if you're searching for love. I definitely see it's a soul-searching month for you on a personal level because, of course, your 9th house and the Hermit has popped out there for you. So you're going to be thinking about your sense of purpose, your journey. But also, you know, if you are in a relationship, it is a perfect time to reignite that sensual spark and closeness. Friendships deepen during this time too, because it's all about unity. Now, we do have that Lionsgate portal. It's already activated, as it were, but it will peak on the 8th of August. This is when the Earth, Orion's belt, the star Sirius, and of course the Sun, which is in the sign of Leo right now, activate this very powerful 8-8 portal, opening up a transformative energetic flow to connect you to higher vibrations. You know, that Tower is activated with higher vibrations. And you've also got the Empress energy that has a lightning bolt there. If you know the Tower, there's normally a lightning bolt that hits the Tower, which means, you know, everything changes. This means you shatter illusions, you be really honest with yourself. It can be a wake-up call to do something or pay more attention to beauty routines or your body in some way or your health. Or it can indicate that, you know, you are not accepting bare minimum. You are defining a boundary and saying enough is enough. You know, you are releasing yourself from expectations of others. You are being more independent. So, you know, there's a lot going on with that Tower. It doesn't mean some sort of chaos is hitting, but I will pull a card for you on that just to see what's going on there for you. But let's just say the 8-8 portal, it really aligns you to facilitate the opportunity to manifest your dreams into reality. And all of your proactive hard work that you've already been doing, it starts to deliver tangible results. You see things that you're trying to build come together and be long-lasting. And the 10th of August sees a very powerful planetary parade where 6 planets align, reinforcing these manifesting opportunities. Now, of course, astrologically, there have been some drastic changes. We've been dealing with a lot of shift and change over the last couple of years. You may be so done with changes or restarts or, you know, plot twists. It's been hard to catch a break. And the first 2 weeks of August may feel like a bit of a gear shift as more positive energies try to flow in. I promise you they are trying to flow in, okay? But, you know, we do have Mercury still retrograde until the 11th. So when it goes direct on the 11th, you'll really take charge of your life with more clarity, make greater advancements in any area of your life that you're focused on and investing your energy in. And anything that's been blocked or on hold, you know, it starts to shift positively and move forward. That Tower is a release for you. And any stargazers out there, Jupiter and Venus get really up close and personal on the 12th. It'll look great in the sky. However, it's a very auspicious day to attract better luck, receive good news, mend any issues or complications, and really harmonize your life. And then we have on the 22nd of August, we have that black new moon occurring in the sign of Virgo, okay? This offers a really practical, grounded focus to get more organized. However, it will clash with Planet of Chaos and Plot Twists, Uranus. I mean, of course it will. You know, that's definitely on the bingo card for 2025. You know, so there may be some unexpected surprises, and I definitely see you are going to be aware of this unexpected surprise because you do have a Tower there. So this may mean that you have to navigate this at the end of the month. But Jupiter, planet of good luck and abundance, it will endeavor to take the edge off and turn any plot twists in your favor. Okay, now on a global scale, and please fast forward that. It's interesting because as I said that, the world came out on a global scale. So there may be something shocking in the month. I mean, can we deal with any more shocks in this world? Part of us is like, you know what, we expect it now, to the point where we're becoming numb to it, which is awful because it's not good to be desensitized. But at the same time, there is this energy of like, come on, give us a break. But there may be something globally that really shocks you, saddens you, because you do have a Three of Swords in your month. But this could also be like a miscommunication, but we will tap into that. But we do have that Uranus clash. So as I mentioned, you know, just watch out for that. People could get a little bit cranky around about then. But on a global scale, and as I mentioned, please fast forward this part, you know, I mentioned in July's forecast that Mercury retrograde would really play havoc with technology and internet security. And of course, we saw a major power outage across Starlink, and some of the well-known brands experience cyber breaches. Mercury retrograde does not play nice, and you know, we're still in that post shadow right up until the 25th of August, and that's only why I am mentioning that there for you. Okay, now I would say this is a period to be mindful that we may see more of the same, so strengthen any passwords if you feel the need to, save down any important documents, work, bank statements, things like that. Nothing to be paranoid about, of course, but it's always important to be mindful. And, you know, I did mention in the yearly readings there, the forecasts, that this year would all be about fire and water. Now, we have seen a lot of that on a global scale. You know, it's really amplified so much, you know, traumatic experiences going on out there with the world. And of course, the planetary movements displayed that for this year. Major seismic shifts occurring this year around the Ring of Fire and activity in the Pacific Ocean too. I did mention all of that. Now, let me be clear, that part of the world is always very active, okay? But, you know, we have seen unusually high activity, unfortunately. And, you know, even though we saw something major a couple of days ago, I do envisage more to come. And I say, unfortunately, I wish this was not the case. And I don't buy into the currency of fear, but I have to acknowledge that landscapes are shifting, and we have seen an uptick in extreme shifts as well as erratic weather events globally. So August may actually encourage global conversations centered around weather systems actually changing direction, and jet streams becoming unstable, ocean patterns altering, significantly impacting the topography due to major seismic activity, and of course, you know, how we can navigate these changes. August is actually a month of managing. So that's kind of positive, okay, about releasing the buildup of pressure to observe and find motivation to build securely for the future, both globally and on a personal level. So overall, for you, it is a very powerful month to align with what brings you joy and offers you a platform to be more sociable, more present, whilst at the same time making major advancements to achieve your personal goals, to embrace your inner fire, and of course your playfulness, and basically be more you. So this could be that you are reaching a plateau in some way, and you are kind of like allowing those passions to come to the fore. You're not laying dormant anymore. This is about you reflecting, because you have that hermit energy. I mean, let's tell it how it is. You're under a lot of pressure. You've got the tower energy. It's shown up there for you. It feels like life is a lot right now. Even though you are making progress, it just feels like it's hard to catch a break, and you're exhausted. The hermit removes themselves from society when it gets too peoply, or when something or someone does not align with a belief system, but also when they need alone time to really figure things out. You know, the ninth house is influencing you, and that is the great quest for meaning. So although you're busy and you're making some adjustments, I mean, I feel like you're making gradual improvements in your life, whether it's health-wise, whether it's finances. I feel like, you know, you are trying to do it all right now, and it is exhausting. And the hermit energy indicates that you want to reestablish a connection with your higher self. You don't want to get lost in the noise of life. You know, you may be seeking signs and symbols and kind of like really wondering what's it all about at this moment in time. Some of you, if you are, you know, financially able to, maybe contemplating a spiritual retreat, or maybe you're, you know, thinking about a cultural getaway, because this can be the card to get away from it all, okay? Whether it's with a group of people. I mean, you have a lot of people showing up in your reading here. We've got two queens, we've got an Empress energy. We've also got a Knight of Coins there. So this could be like soul tribe members, families. You may be getting away with your family during this time and having that moment of relax. But at the same time, we have a lot of planetary alignments, so there's some clashes there. There could be a clash of personalities, misunderstandings, things that will be resolved, of course, because, you know, when you've got the World card in the position that's in, it means, you know, things will work out, things will come back into balance. But you may learn a lesson about words, how people express themselves, the undercurrent of what's going on between the lines, the things that people are not saying, perhaps, that's causing the pressure in the first place. So you may identify a root cause for you with a group of people, or even maybe an inner battle that you are going through right now. I feel like you download new information and intuitively you hit the nail on the head. I mean, like, that's the root cause. I need to work on that, or I need to really pay more attention to that, because the Tower can be pay more attention to this until it gets critical. You have an option to do something about it. So this could be something personal for you. If it's personal, it could be that, you know, you're managing your health at this time. The Empress is to nurture yourself in a different way, in a healthier way. It can also be that you're treating your body with respect, or you're paying attention to your body's needs. If you are someone who is managing some sort of health symptom, you know, it could be anything, an underlying symptom, or it could be something where you may have a flare-up, because the Tower represents a flare-up. I hate to give that message, but the Three of Swords is there as well, so it could indicate that you, you know, experience something that perhaps is hard to manage. It gets to a point where you may have to seek guidance, or, you know, go to a practitioner who can help you. I mean, if you're going through the menopause as well, this could be like a very intense hot flush, or, you know, perhaps some symptoms that you're trying to manage. But we do have that Queen of Wands energy and the Knight of Pentacles. For some of you, this could be heat, because of course there's a lot of fire energy, or inflammation. It doesn't have to be about menopause. It can be like inflammation in some area. But the Knight of Pentacles can indicate a grounding, you know, a thorough investigation, as it were, to find out what it is and get to the root cause of something. And then, of course, take action, you know, make it stable. Because the Knight of Pentacles is like, okay, we're making everything stable again. It's all fine. And you're going to stick to some sort of plan in order to make sure that it's long-term stability, so you can manage it. Okay, so that's coming out there. But the Hermit, you know, this is a period of feeling exhausted. So if you're constantly on the go and you're doing everything, I mean, this is a period where people tend to take a vacation or some time off work. If you've got children, for example, it could be that they are on, you know, school vacations, and you may be trying to manage it all. And that can indicate that you're really close to burnout, you're exhausted, and it could make you a little bit cranky, or it could, you know, make you feel a little bit yeah, a little bit like tense. Okay, let's put it that way, because the Tower can be like sudden, like outbursts of like, can you just be quiet for a minute? You know, because this is a card of quietness. So you're trying to find, you know, stillness in the noise in the month of August there. But this card indicates that you're an old soul. Okay, so a lot of you are trying to connect to the message of life, to really reach for something that you're wishing for. A lot of you could be reaching for healing, as I said there. This could be emotional healing, could be physical healing. I do see a stabilizing energy here for you, and a way to cathartically, like, get closure on something, or finally just be like, enough, I've dealt with this too long. This could be an argument or a conversation that goes round and round in circles, or you feel like you've been stuck in some sort of rut for some time. This is the month to come out of that rut. You know, the Tower, I always see it as positive, because it basically means that, you know, you've been in a certain place for some time, and the Tower can feel comfortable. You know, it can be that you get into a structure or routine that you've built that felt safe, that felt like you were really building something solid for your future. And then suddenly you go, okay, well, I've been there, done that, and I'm still stuck in this, and it's kind of the same old thing, just a different day. I want to break free. So it could be that you want to do something bold and daring and different. Okay, a lot of you at the end of the month, you're actually focused on your beauty routines, because you have two beauty cards there. You have the Empress and the Queen of Wands. So this can be that you're focused on, you know, rituals that you do on an ongoing basis. It could be that, you know, you, with that Three of Swords, it could be that suddenly something that you use all the time and you rely on, you know, it goes out of stock or it is discontinued. And you're like, what? That's my favorite thing. Everyone buys it. It's always like off the shelves. Why do people discontinue products that are doing well or selling? It makes no sense. So you may try to source it elsewhere. You may actually find something better. Okay, but I feel the search will continue into September before you actually find something that you're happy with that can replace whatever it is that discontinues. Okay, random, I know, but that's something that came out there. Doing a lot of soul searching with this card. Your ninth house is going to make you feel very sensitive, like withdrawing into privacy. Could be that you're working on a project behind the scenes. I mean, I feel a lot of you are reaching for something in order to transform your finances. Ten of Pentacles is there, so that can indicate that you're sticking to some sort of financial strategy or plan, or being more discerning about where you be sociable or go out. You may even get an invitation to something this month where you're like, I'd love to go, but I've got a savings plan and this is just too expensive for what it is. Okay, it doesn't mean that you're not going to go out there and have fun and be sociable, but you may be like, what? That's a ripoff, because the Tower energy is like, no, I'm not going to do that. So with the Three of Swords, you could turn down something or decide to bow out of an event because you just feel like, it's too much money for what it actually is. And the Ten of Pentacles indicates you're all about saving your finances right now. Some of you may even be like pooling your resources to go into real estate or buy property or, move home. I definitely see here a lot of you, these are two cards where it's like home with family. So you may have responsibilities. There is an energy showing up as well where someone who is really close to you may need your support, whether that's physical support or emotional support. I feel like you're there for somebody, but this Hermit energy is going to make you feel very thoughtful about your family lineage, because this is a card of heritage. It's a card of your roots. It's also a card of loyalty. Who's got your back? Who can you trust? So I feel this is not just about finances. I mean, your fourth house is influencing you at the end of the month. So of course, to some degree, you're going to be focused on stability. You're going to be focused on your home life. This is about all things domestic. So of course, you're going to spend a little bit of time sorting through some stuff. You may come across like photographs, a lot of nostalgia there, letters, ticket stubs to concerts, theater like programs, little notes and trinkets and things that you've gathered in life, the journey of you, as it were, that will spark fond memories within you, but also making you have those big philosophical questions, arriving at answers like, what's it all about? Where do I feel like I am right now? How far have I come? You're analyzing your journey. So it's not just about security, grounding, and finances, which of course I feel like you are focused on, but it's all about your journey and your sense of purpose and where you feel like you are right now and where you want to take things next. So a lot of you are seeking clarity or guidance or both on your next steps on something. And the Hermit is to seek clarity. It is to go inwards for answers. And I feel like you're loyal to a cause, or you're committed to something, you're all in, you're hardworking. And this can be that you are trying to build wealth, generational wealth, financial security for your future. Some of you, not all of you, but I'm sending you a huge hug out there. If you're already dealing with this, I want you to be aware this is something that has already occurred, because the Ten of Pentacles is showing up in the protagonist energy. So you're approaching the month dealing with this. So this could be that you are dealing with inheritance or probate or, wills and estates and things like that. And of course, that normally means that someone has crossed over. So I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love if you are going through a period of grief, but also having to navigate the legalities of things, and you're trying to be really strong and stoical for this, and I feel the World card in the position it's in with the Four of Pentacles, you may feel that it's an ongoing process and you feel somehow separate from almost like your body as well, just kind of like trying to get to grips with the whole thing. So I'm sending you a huge hug out there. You may be feeling a little bit numb at first, and then suddenly a flow of sensitivity and emotions. It will be a process. A lot of you, because the Tower is present, you may feel that it was a shock, okay? No matter whether it was expected or not, it was a shock, okay? It's still a shock. It's going to leave, this feeling with you where you're going to be doing a lot of soul searching and seeking answers. And, I feel like you're going to get a lot of signs in the month of August as well. Let me see if I can pick up on what those signs could be. Okay, I'm just seeing a very unusual plant. very, very odd image I'm being given here. The plant is so wonderfully unique. Okay, I can't really tell you what it is. It feels like it's got very spiky, well, I can see it, but I'm sure if I was to touch it, very spiky leaves. Okay, and they're very pointed, and then there's all these like jagged edges to it, and then this wonderful kind of like pink flowering bud on the top, but it's not quite a thistle. You know, I thought, is that a thistle? But it's not. And then because obviously I can't grasp it, I'm seeing someone's hand come in with like a stick of chalk and like cross it out like, no, 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 no. And then start to draw a lotus flower. So this is really random, this image. It may mean something to somebody or not. It doesn't have to be connected to someone who is dealing with inheritance or anything like that. But I'm just seeing that right now, but it may be a sign. Maybe you're actually going to see like a flower that's been crossed out with chalk and then someone drawing a lotus flower. I mean, that first plant was very spiky, very defensive. Okay, I would say very caustic. So perhaps it's a sign about someone is at peace now. Things were a challenge. Things were hard. They always had to brace themselves against the wind or the storm. And now there's peace because the lotus flower is about opening, budding, peaceful energy. So it could be that it was a tough transition, although they're at peace. Okay, so again, so much love. I feel these may be signs or symbols you'll see. They may be separate. You may even see like someone's hand with a chalk or someone drawing with chalk. Maybe they were a teacher, chalk, I'm not sure. Maybe an artist dealt with that medium. So I'll leave it like that with a lot of love and respect, and I'm going to disconnect from that energy, but I'm sending you a huge hug out there if that's you. Now bringing it back to the collective, because of course not everybody's dealing with that. Ten of Pentacles indicates value. You know, as you mature, you're starting to value yourself in a different way, and you're realizing that you are a gift. You give so much of yourself to everybody. So I definitely see here as you mature and grow, you're expecting more in return. Okay, now you've also learned to manage those expectations that not everybody's capable of giving back in return. So you're adjusting your behavior. So some of you may be withdrawing from people who do not invest in you in the same way. Same with jobs or opportunities. I feel like you're turning down anything that does not value what you have to offer at this time. Queen of Coins, you know, fourth house is all over you in the month of August because you're focused on your home life, stability. Some of you may even make money from home. You may be doing some decluttering, some DIY, and as you come across certain items you may feel like you've outgrown. This could be you like reselling pre-loved goods, or it could be that, you know, you are creative at home and actually deciding to, you know, make a business from home. You may already work from home, and if you do work from home already, I feel a lot of you are feeling a bit isolated or lonely or have pangs of wanting to connect with like-minded individuals. So I see you joining like a creative group. Okay, and what I see there is there's one person who is very like aloof. They kind of look down on people. Not everybody is the same in that group. There's one person you're going to align with and become friends with and maybe having a creative alliance in the future with, okay? I feel there's a couple of people you really get on with, but there's this one person they just like to either shock or cause issue. I feel like you're staying away from that, but you're like, at first, you're like, oh, why did I join this group? Or why did I come here? But stick it out because I feel you're going to get a lot of benefit from it. There's just this one person who likes to cause some sort of issue. And yeah, I feel like they will come round over time because they get kind of isolated. People start to stay away from this person, not because they're like leaving them out or singling them out. It just feels like they're a lot to deal with. So they're like, oh my gosh, I've got my own stuff going on. I don't need anyone else's extra, you know what? So I feel like there's a shift there. But let's bring this back to you because of course some of you may be selling a home or purchasing a home this month. If that is you, you may be trying to be a little bit more removed from the city or a little bit more remote. Okay, because the Hermit is to be a little bit more remote there. A place where you can actually see the stars is what I'm being given, where there's less light pollution. So a lot of you may be craving that or saving for that at this time. I feel like you're going to make a really great investment there. Do your due diligence because I feel there's an energy here with... it's interesting, okay? I'm being given something about the electrics. So just get someone in when they're doing like the final checks. If you're about to invest in a property, make sure it's not just like the aesthetics that they look at. Make sure you get like a proper electrician in there, okay? Because I feel there's something that maybe you'll have to deal with in the aftermath. Because this is a lot of energy, like, you know, plugs blowing and, you know, circuits breaking and stuff like that. I'm just being given that. So just watch out if you're purchasing something, do some extra checks on anything electric. And there may be even an appliance there that is connected, that is installed, as it were, that perhaps needs to be looked at. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. I feel like you'll discover it, but you may actually be able to factor it into lowering the price, either getting the person who is selling to, you know, fix it, or they lower the price. So you may have to give someone an option there. But, you know, this card is all about value, valuing yourself, investing in your body, mind, and soul. I feel a lot of you also want to reinvest in self. So I feel there could be like a course of learning that you decide to download there. But ultimately, I feel a lot of you kind of pooling your resources in order to go traveling or even migrate. Some of you are really questioning where is home, because the ninth house is questioning. You know, it is about your life's purpose, and you have the World card there. Some of you may be trying to be a little bit more nomadic in your working environment in order to be able to work anywhere around the world. And it can be that you're trying to migrate your business or migrate life if you've come to a position where you're retiring, because the Hermit and the Empress can indicate that you have matured to the part where, you know, now you are going to, you know, have lots of projects, focus on your life purpose, your life philosophy, deepen your connection with your faith, your higher self, and go traveling. And also maybe even a holiday home abroad. Some of you may be thinking about moving. However, you know, your family are established in a certain place and you're having to make a decision as to whether you want to move abroad or spend time abroad, also spend time with family. I feel the majority of the beginning of August is all family focused or soul tribe focused. Some of you, you know, if you work away from your family or you live further afield from your family, you may actually return home in order to seek sanctuary and like have nice home cooked meals and just feel really comfortable and slip back into a nice comfortable kind of energy, because this is all about comfort. Okay, but also I feel this is a card of luxury when it's with the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. I would say a lot of you are working really hard behind the scenes to create more luxury in your life or more opportunity to be stable for you and your family, settling down with your family or building a family, or, you know, preparing to, you know, have talks if you are in a relationship with your partner about raising a family. There may be some, you know, I would just say there's going to be a really interesting and healthy conversation around it. But with the Three of Swords, there may be a misunderstanding about it at first, which may cause a little bit of conflict. So just watch out for that. For some of you, you know, this is an energy as well that maybe suddenly you are in the menopause. You may discover that in the month of August. If you are someone who has the ability to have children, this may kind of really make you soul search about, you know, the meaning of life and, you know, what you want to do next, for example, because Three of Swords, for some of you, I got to honor these cards. Not everybody, of course, is going to resonate with this, but this can be that, you know, suddenly you go into early menopause or something like that, and you have to deal with those decisions or those facts. And it can be that it makes you sad. And, you know, not all of you, of course. For some of you, it can be that you are not wanting to have children. So it can be that you are kind of like, with that Three of Swords, perhaps having to defend yourself or feel like people judge you when you have those conversations saying, I don't want to have children. And people are like, well, why not? You know, it can be that you don't have to, you know, explain yourself. You don't have to actually make your feelings, your emotions, or your decisions palatable to other people, because it is your decision. So you could be actually like feeling challenged or having to confront something or stand up for yourself on something at some point. Now, it doesn't have to be to do with, you know, your decision around children. Okay, it could be a creative project where there are clashes of personalities, or perhaps someone's micromanaging you in some way and trying to thrust their expectations on you. But you are exerting a boundary and saying, look, I know what I'm doing here. I'm established. You don't need to question me. Okay, so I feel this is about, you know, drawing a line and empowering yourself. But we do have the Courage card, and this is in the Resistance position. So this can indicate some of you have been struggling with something, but because it goes into the upright, it means you will conquer this. This is a great month. I mean, it's a Leo card there, so it can be that, you know, you have, you know, walk through a challenging time, but now you hold your head held high. And it can be that, you know, you're turning pain to gain in some area of your life. This could be your glow up. If you've been through a separation, for example, you know, a lot of you with that Three of Swords, you could be grieving a relationship or a situation. You know, if you are someone who was made redundant or lost your job, or you had to walk away from something that was toxic, and you've been trying to search out for a role in a very oversaturated job market right now, you may have been met with disappointment after disappointment, and it's hard. But I feel like you're not giving up. I feel like, you know, the World card indicates that you're going to be in the right place at the right time for the right opportunity. And although it has been an ongoing process, you know, you will meet with an opportunity. Okay, and I feel this is a very creative role, could be a high-ranking position. You may also, you know, be an assistant role in some way, or it could be that it's a stepping stone to the role you really want. And, you know, you work hard for your money, but you're having a glow up. You're magnetizing an opportunity towards you, but it won't be long before you are promoted. You know, this can be that you are getting a surprise promotion. You know, I feel there's an energy here, especially with the Queen of Wands. This can indicate you're aiming for the Empress energy, but the Queen of Wands is on offer right now. So there's still more to aspire to, because I feel a lot of you are making gradual, you know, improvements, or you're reaching for something, because that's your first card. It is to reach for something that you have the knowledge on, that you are established at. And of course, this could indicate that perhaps someone else is given a role that you really want, but another role is offered to you, and you're actually like, okay, this is quite exciting. It's not what I wanted, but very soon after, a role that you really want, which may even bypass the one you actually wanted in terms of its ranking, gets offered to you. So it feels like you sidestep one role in order to be better than what was offered in the first place, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would say some surprise promotions there at the end of August for a lot of you there. Knight of Pentacles, you may actually have to negotiate the money, okay, because they may initially try to give you a little bit less than you were expecting, but at the end of it, you actually get more that you were hoping for. So when you negotiate, of course, always ask for more than you actually want, and that means they negotiate you down. So therefore, they think they're in control, but really, you have set the bar of what you really want, and I feel like they will negotiate you to the position that you actually really secretly wanted, okay? Because the Hermit can be, you know, to keep something to yourself, you know, play your cards close to your chest, as it were, and I feel like you may shock yourself by, you know, sticking your ground and valuing what you have to offer, because you're offering a whole chest of gold here. You are bringing your A game to anything that you're doing, and therefore you deserve that opportunity. But it feels like you may be offered something that seems still on par with what you are doing right now. I mean, it may be a little more exciting, more creative control there. However, it feels somehow the same with the two queens here. It's like, this is where you're at, this is where you'll stay for a moment, but then you reach for something else and you go a little bit higher than you thought was on offer in the first place. So I feel with this Courage card as well, bringing it back to you and your journey, as it were, I feel like you have had the courage to face something head on that has been a bit of a struggle, and you may be waiting for some sort of results. I mean, looking at the energy, we have the Three of Swords like as an outcome energy, so it could be that there is some sort of I want to say minor kind of fly in the ointment there, because looking at the other cards, the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles indicates that, you know, there's a bit of work to be done, but then it's a positive outcome because the Empress is with the Tower. So it tells me all those together. I mean, even if you look up the combination of the cards, it tells me, you know, it's hard to break free from something, or it's hard to manage something, but you're like halfway there. You're making a breakthrough, or you're having like some sort of indication that you're building back better than ever before. But the Three of Swords indicates it's hard, or there's still a little bit further to go, or it could be like it's been painful. It's been a painful journey, but because we got the Courage card, this means you overcome the obstacle, okay? Or you overcome whatever this is. So that's coming out very strongly there. Now, we do have that Four of Coins. So this is in the resistance position. So I feel a lot of you are actually removing a struggle or sadness or something that's been challenging. There's a blockage that's been happening here, and I feel like you're liberating yourself from this, and it's been hard because when you have the Tower and the Three of Swords, I mean, I didn't choose the cards for you. I wish those cards had not shown up in the outcome energy, but because of the two cards that go with it, it tells me that overall something has been hard and it's been, you know, a struggle to break free from. So whether that is, you know, you detoxifying this month, maybe you are feeling that you had too much of something or excess of something. Maybe you went on vacation and, you know, really enjoyed yourself, and now you're back to reality with a bump, and you're back creating a structure where you're strict with yourself and trying to break free from the temptation of, you know, reaching for the quick fix, for example. So although it's hard, you do break free from it. Four of Pentacles indicates, you know, you're taking ownership. You're acknowledging that you've got to do the hard work. You've got to, you know, be practical and productive and all of those things. And I feel like you're owning your discipline, your time, your energy. And I feel this is also a card of not holding on to something that has been hurting you. So a lot of you may be releasing something from your life, or even a person or a situation that's been hurting you. A lot of you may be looking at the nature of pain, what has been a struggle, and saying, you know what, is this worth it? You know, I mean, life is hard. Why are we doing this? So it could be you arguing with someone all the time, having the same conversations. You're like, come on, why are we doing this all the time? You know, it's just not worth it anymore. Or it could be that, you know, you are at a working environment where certain structures are in place and they keep putting the pressure on because the Tower is pressure. It is managing stress levels. It could be that there's an old way of doing something that's very outdated, and you may suddenly come in with some new ideas that initially with that Three of Swords are met with like, nope, no, not doing it. And they may turn you down. And you're like, okay, well, if you want to suffer doing the same old thing, you know, it's very important. If we do the same thing all the time and expect a different outcome, that's insanity, okay? So this is about you changing something at the end of the month here to make it better, to make it more efficient or more streamlined, or to conquer it or have more control over it, is what I see. Well, with that Four of Coins, I feel like you're letting go of something that's kept you stuck. Also, I feel a lot of you, because you've been focused on stability and, you know, your projects, your family, the Four of Coins reminds you that some changes need to happen here, okay? There's two snakes on this card, so it can indicate that, you know, this is a time to acknowledge, not to let life pass you by, to enjoy the present moment with the people you care about. That's the most important, building memories with people that you share your life with. But I would say if you're worried about finances, because of course it is a pentacle, you know, it can be that you are going to acknowledge a way of finding more money, because the Knight of Pentacles is what you kind of leave with. So I would say, you know, a stable amount of money coming on in. You've got bills. I mean, for some of you, there may be some repair work that is necessary this month. Let me see what that could be on. I'm not being given anything, but it gets critical. It's something that perhaps, you know, what I'm seeing right now, randomly, I just got to tell you what I see, is a sink. Okay, I'm just seeing a sink. So either it is the plumbing, or there's something related to a sink or a tap or something. I'm not sure. I don't want to say the boiler. No one wants to think about that one, okay? But I'm just getting this energy of a repair work needing to be done. So some of you may deal with that. It's only about 10%, so it's not all of you. I don't want you panicking. But there may be like a shock bill or a shock kind of like repair work that needs to be done there as well. So just be mindful. You got the money to like pay for this, is what I'm seeing. You will kind of replenish your resources, but always good to be prepared. Sometimes we can actually try and limit it getting to that stage. So if you feel like, oh, hang on a minute, that sounds a little bit weird, maybe it's getting something reviewed or getting someone into service something before it gets to a critical stage. So that's something that's coming through. So I'll just leave it like that. But I feel the Four of Pentacles is telling you, you know, you've been struggling with a lot and now it's time to have a little bit more fun. Let your hair down. Go to really fun events. We got the World card energy here, which of course means you're focused on your goals and your dreams. I feel like you're very productive. So this can indicate there's something ongoing because, of course, the World is in the resistance position, but it comes to a closure. So this could be that you are finishing all your projects, trying to get ahead of yourself so you can have a vacation or some time away, or you feel when you return like work has built up and now you have to catch up with yourself. Because I'm getting this energy of like trying to get ahead, but also catching up. It just feels like you're having a bit of a gear shift in the month of August there. But this is a card of success. It's a card of balance, everything coming together, being in the right place at the right time to meet the right opportunities. And I feel like you're ready. You're magnetic. You're attracting some really good abundance here, but it was hard won. And you may actually have to like look at what you've been doing to see if there's an alternative way or if there's something that's been blocking you or preventing you from moving forward. And for some of you, it could be like something connected to global events, okay? It could be that you utilize certain services, shipping, for example, or certain infrastructure. Maybe there's shocking tariffs that everyone talks about. I did even say at the beginning of the year, just before the beginning of the yearlies actually, that the main topic of conversation and a lot of combustible energy will come from tariffs. Okay, so we've seen a lot of that play out this year, but the World card can indicate somehow it impacts your industry or it impacts you in some way. I mean, if you're traveling, definitely some delays there. You may be a bit frustrated. For some of you, you will get some compensation on that, but not as much as you feel you deserve in that experience. Keep all your receipts, keep everything, because you may be able to build a case, okay, and revisit this, appeal it, for example. But we've got that Empress energy, so yes, you're very productive. I feel like you're doing a lot. Make sure you're not doing too much all the time, that you're like completely burning yourself out, because it is with a Tower. Also, if you're looking for love, I feel this is you getting a lot of attention, okay? I feel like you may literally bump into somebody in the month of August there. What am I picking up with that? Because I'm getting two energies right now. One is either running into a friend and they've got some news about a person that you know that's like a shared person in common, and it's not good news about that person. I hate to say that, but that's it. It may shock you, okay? But also I'm being given this energy that you may actually literally physically bump into somebody and there is like an instant attraction. So if you're single, I feel this is something that could happen at an event, you know, or somewhere where you're having fun. But let me just see what this Tower is for you. Eight of Swords, feeling stuck. Yeah, I got that in your whole message. It's like you're feeling stuck in a rut and you just want to come out of that Groundhog Day, as it were. It could be that, you know, as you mature, for example, you know, you're very attractive, both inside and out. You got a beautiful heart. You invest everything that you've got into everything. Relationships, friendships, your work, all of the stuff. You've always done that. You've always brought your A game. So it can be that, you know, it's a real shame if you're looking for love and you are at your prime right now. Okay, it doesn't matter how old you are at your peak right now. Okay, and it can be that it's really hard to meet love. And, you know, you feel like, right, I'm not just going to sit here at home in hermit mode. I'm going to get out there and do something about it. I'm going to do fun things. I'm going to get creative. I'm going to join groups. I'm going to be more active. So it could be that you're like, enough. I got to just get out. I got to break free. I mean, these two cards are breaking free from something. And it can come from this Empress energy where you are feeling better about yourself. Or it can be that you're having shock results where you feel you've, you know, hit a plateau in some area, whether you've been going down the gym all the time and your efforts have been at a certain level where you're like, oh, it just seems to have been stuck at that level. But suddenly you break through that. You smash through that glass ceiling. And suddenly you start to see evidence of it really taking shape, you know, that all that effort is paying off. For some of you, it could also be that, you know, you've reached a certain level in your career and suddenly that lid is like blown right off. Now you are free. You're liberating yourself from something. Tower can indicate also something you don't see coming with an Eight of Swords. So I do have to go again just to give pacify energy there, because let me see the Three of Swords with it. Ten of Pentacles. I mean, you're secure. And we got the Nine of Swords. This could be worry about like a financial crash, for example, or it could be you're worried about finances. You're worried about security. Maybe because the World card is there, I've got to acknowledge it. You may be really worried. I mean, I feel like we're all being very vigilant and keeping our eyes peeled on world leaders and events and going, well, what next? And of course, I'm going to set up a scrying channel where I am looking in a crystal ball at events that may or may not, because I can't control the images that come up there. They just appear. Whatever guides want to show me, they will show me. But I'm going to do that to see what is to come with certain global events and, you know, things like that. But I feel a lot of you are really feeling that pressure, even though you're trying to zoom in a little bit more to your life, not ignore what's going on in the world, trying to do your bit, be humanitarian, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you and your family are secure, especially since world events have far-reaching consequences on so many levels. So, you know, you could be worried about a family member as well. So this could be a level that you're at, because Ten of Pentacles is family, not just pentacles. It's not just money. It can be the people that you're loyal to, or, you know, your heritage, your roots. So with that Nine of Swords, it can be that you worry about people. You may be worried about parents, you know. It may be that there's nothing wrong, but you just worry because you care. When we care about something so deeply and we commit to them or to projects or anything, you know, there's a lot of pressure. We care so much and it hurts sometimes. So I feel a lot of you, because the World card is present, I feel there is a large part of you feeling this pressure in the world and the changing landscapes and all of the stuff that's going on. And you may be worried, but looking at the energy, you've got the Knight of Coins and you've got the Queen of Wands there. I feel like you're trying to zoom in a little bit more to, you know, being more active and doing what you can in circumstances that you have, because sometimes it makes us feel like we are helpless, but actually, there's a sentence coming through. I'm not sure if I should mention it, so I may just leave it there. My guy just went, go on. But, you know, let's just say, you know, collectively, we can make a difference, okay? Collectively, we all stand together, you know, and say, hey, this is what I want for my world. I didn't ask for this. Then, you know, there are many of us to say our piece and come together and say, let's, you know, stand together for change, let's put it that way. So a lot of you may be doing some humanitarian work or some charity work in order to make the world a better place, you know. But a lot of you there, if you're worried about a family member, or you're, you know, kind of worried about a friend, or you're worried about somebody there, I feel there is this energy of rebuilding or managing, okay? Eight of Swords is an energy of protection. If you know the Eight of Swords, the figure stands rooted to the spot and the swords surround the figure. So you may feel bound to something, this is what it is. It's like it is as it is, and we got to acknowledge that, and we're stuck in this situation. However, the swords are protecting that figure, so it can indicate protection, okay, and that there is a rebuilding phase. And though it is going to be hard, okay, it can indicate that this person, you know, there's vitality, there's energy. This may even be you, that you've been like managing something here. You get back to optimum energy, and, you know, there's a bit of a glow up here. Now, removing myself from the energy with a lot of love and respect, I feel a lot of you, though, are having like a physical glow up. Like feeling better about yourself, you know, attracting a lot of attention, but you worked really hard to get to this place where you feel good about yourself, sorting through the mud of life, sorting through all the emotions and the challenges, and, you know, quietening the inner critic there. But also I'm being given this energy of eyes. So some of you may go to an optician's and look at eye pressure is what I'm seeing there, or perhaps there's been some sort of like maybe change in your prescription if you wear glasses anyway. I've just been given that, so that's coming through as well. I would say with the Queen of Wands, this is about you following your passions. It's about you kind of integrating with creative people or with fun people, people who kind of like get you, inspire you, you know, you have fun talking to them. I also see that some of you are going to pamper yourself a little bit at the end of the month, because this is all about giving back to self when you have a Empress and a Queen of Wands. But I just want to see if this is people, because, you know, with that Tower and the Three of Swords, I feel there could be like a minor argument or a misunderstanding. And this could even be with your boss. It doesn't have to be with a family member. King of Cups. So there's another person. I mean, there's a lot of people involved in this. So it could be that there is just everybody getting on top of everybody at some point during this month. But I feel like at the root, there's a lot of love, a lot of respect, and it just feels like people getting a bit antsy. Yeah, look at that, Two of Cups. Everybody comes back together again. But I feel something that was hard won for you is going to be won. You know, I feel like you're following your heart, your dreams, your visions, and the Two of Cups is, you know, an attraction of what you desire from your heart space. Two of Cups at the very grassroots of the card, the very foundation of it, it is, you know, a union between you and the universe, where you kind of express what you want and need, and the universe understands and delivers. So you're matching a vibration to draw something in. So you could be offered like a proposal or an opportunity that fits or aligns with you. This could also be love. I feel a lot of you are going to literally bump into love at first sight. Also, this person that you meet, they could have had like an injury before they met you. Okay, so they could like, I don't know why that came up, but it did. So that's something that's there. I'm just seeing someone with their arm in a sling. Okay, so it could be that you meet someone who perhaps has had a fracture or something. I'm not sure. Maybe you just talk about that. Random, I know, I'm just going to leave that there. Knight of Pentacles, this is back to work. It's back to reality. It feels like you are proceeding on something, dedicated to something, and you have the stamina to go get it and make it happen. Your dedication or your consistency on something pays off. Doesn't have to be work. Can be a friendship, relationship. It can be, you know, a career endeavor. It could be your health. Whatever it is, I feel like you're making it work. It is hard work, but you're really honest with yourself. You know, I feel this is you breaking an illusion and saying, okay, what needs to be done? Let's take action on that. But also, I feel with that Knight of Pentacles, this is, as I said, stable. Okay, so I feel you've persevered through something that was challenging, and now it's stable. And I feel you can build from there, because remember, the Tower is to rebuild as well. This could be a sudden epiphany, a realization. You may see someone in a new light after an argument, and you can strengthen that bond. I mean, for some of you, because there is a parental type figure there with the Empress, this could be that you have like a very intense discussion with a parent, and maybe you learn something about them that you didn't know before, and you're like, what? And it just changes your perspective on the family in some way, or your history in some way. So we got bodybuilder and symphony. So that's basically harmonizing your life, coming back into balance, focusing on strengthening yourself, body, mind, and soul, pushing forward. You know, for example, because I'm just seeing someone as well in the gym right now, this is like pushing through. It's like resistance training. And that can be in life in general. It's like you hit a certain plateau where your body says, oh, okay, yeah, I'm starting to feel it now. So imagine I'm in the gym with this, you know, imaginary apparatus that I've got in my hands right now. Maybe you got to that certain level. You're like, I'm pushing through. Okay, I've got to that level. And you're like, one more push. And then you got it. And you're like, yes, I did it. So I feel a lot of you could be going through like one more push in life on something. Whether it is a stage of purchasing a property or a stage of a project, it feels like it comes to a very stable, secure, and rewarding conclusion. So we've got sap, resources. Interesting. Now, these two cards also popped up in, I think it was a Piscean reading or a Cancerian reading. I'm not sure. Water reading, definitely. So I'm just seeing that as a connection to water right now. So it could be indicating to me that I must remind you about hydration for the month of August, especially if you're in a very hot environment. But we have sap. Okay, interesting that that's a pipe. It's a water pipe. Ooh, I hope you're not going to have any problems with the waterworks, okay? But it says here, resources, needed materials, being in the flow, wealth, essence of life. That's your ninth house right there with the Hermit. Spring, nourishment, blood, you know, sweetness, energy, vitality, grounded, roots abundant, physical health and life force. Definitely everything that you're on top of in the month of August there. We've got bodybuilder, so you're definitely building something, you know, building your empire, building your health. But it says power, strength, forceful, determined, disciplined, vigor, domination, pushing forward, leveraging, influencing, mastering, resolving, intense resistance. Yeah, that's what I was meaning, like resistance training, self-improvement and exercise. Yeah, I feel there's a lot of self-improvement going on. And this is not just in the body. I feel this is, oh, interesting, that's 666 there. I feel this is also in terms of new knowledge, downloading courses, reading self-help books, you know, meditation, mindfulness, learning more about your mental well-being. But we've got symphony, so that is all about the harmony of life, getting in sync with your desires and matching the vibration to draw in your desires, making things happen through inspired action. So it says harmony, synergy, co-create, definitely co-creation vibes here. So you may be actually with a group of people. But we've also got team, collaboration, arrangement, order, leading, flow, organization. Some of you may actually be invited to join an organization or be accepted if you have applied for something there. Also, some of you may literally be going to see a symphony, but I feel this is about fine-tuning your life and really looking at the details. What's it all about? We've got still. Yeah, refinement. Look, I didn't even look at that card, and obviously you can't see my eyes, but you do have to trust me on that. I hadn't read this card yet, and I didn't remember what it said from the last time it popped out, but refinement is the first word. It says taste, culture, style, fine-tune. A lot of you are locked onto beauty routines. You may change a style or be more flamboyant or make an addition to your wardrobe that really sees you stand out, or dress for the job or dress for the part or dress for a date. Okay, we've got time out, drawn out, infusions, spirits, alcohol, perfume. You may actually find that your perfume is actually discontinued. You have to find a new scent, or perhaps you are reducing your alcohol or reducing something, cutting it out, detoxifying. And finally, we have cat. Okay, cat, very independent. This is about being very discerning, but also, I mean, this could be, you know, your desire to wander, to be free, to, you know, not be micromanaged in any shape or form. You're wanting to break free. It says here apathetic, disinterested. So yeah, I feel like you're disinterested in other people's drama right now. My way or the highway. If you're dealing with a person like this, they're going to be very shocked because you're going to re-exert your power. Unflappable. Yes, being unflappable in change. Cool cat, unaffected, not my problem. What I want when I want it, cool and calm and disengaged. You know, have you ever noticed that when you're manifesting, when you kind of take a step back and you don't feel so intensely about it, it starts to happen, because those intense feelings can crush it. I always say manifestation's like a butterfly. You know, you prepare the landing spot, you're ready, the butterfly comes along and it stays because it wants to. It chooses you because your vibration is saying, you know what, this is what I wanted. And I'm really calm because I just know it'll happen, but I'm not going to crush it. I'm not going to force it. It's just going to happen because I trust the process. But if you go like, oh, the butterfly's come, I need to hold it now, you kill the butterfly. So this is about just, you know, acknowledging that what is meant for you will never pass you by. So relax, okay? And of course, you're managing stress levels and all of that this month too. So we have a padlock with a heart there. So this is like secure love in relationships, partnerships, but also this can be that, you know, you're securing a deal, or you're secure and safe. Your heart is safe to explore, or, you know, you're following your heart and it's safe to do that, or you're locking down a deal. You know, this is all about security. That's your fourth house right there. Stability, security. You may even see a padlock that's got a heart on it. And also we've got the puzzle piece. So you're building the picture right now and you're finding the little pieces in life to slot them in. Everything is going to take shape as you imagine. So you're seeing that bigger picture, but also it's the ingredients that make the bigger picture. So I feel like you are paying attention to the details, and I will leave it there. Some of you may even find a puzzle piece randomly in the street somewhere, so watch out for that too. But I hope something resonates. It went on longer than I expected, but it was complex, so I had to honor it. So thank you so much, my beautiful Gemini, and love and light.